road. Here we go. Oh, oh, oh. Walking, wandering, but I'm led astray. Search within, trying to find the right way. Spirits flow to the left, to the right. Demons fight. I walk this path as a warrior. I'm a black road on this red road. Here we go. Oh, 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 black road on this red road. Here we go. Come on, yeah. Oh, oh, oh.
Peace, 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 everyone, and welcome to another Yom Rishon with Anu Life Global Ministries Midday Affirmative. I am, of course, Yakira-Eden, and I just want to go ahead and give a moment for everyone to flood on in, get settled down, and we're going to think about this red road, this path that we're on. And getting to that finish line, getting to the it is finished. So I have so much that I want to share with you today. And of course, before we do, we want to offer gratitude to the Mother, Father of all worlds, for which otherwise our lives would not even exist. We would have no purpose. We would have no vision. There would be no reason for us to exist. So we're thankful for those masterful architects that purposely, intentionally designed each of us based on the skills and expectations, journeys and roads and mountains and valleys that we each need to traverse to gain that knowledge, wisdom, and come to an understanding. Of course, gratitude to you, Chief Yuya, as the head of Anu Life Global Ministries and my spiritual head. Give thanks for holding this space, for holding the vision. And today, you'll definitely see that I'm pulling a lot from the Anu way, particularly the vision piece. And we're just going to get right into it. So this is the Anu, the Midday Affirmative. And I actually wanted to open with, beyond beyond the gratitude that we give to Yah, I wanted to open with what we're affirming today. I actually want to suggest, if you're able to get to your, if you don't have the Anu way, you definitely should go to anulifeglobalministries.org and download a copy. You can download it for free. It is a donation-based offering. So you can choose to give whatever you would like in order to access that technology. But make sure you have it. And for those that do have it, please, I want you to follow along with me. Yes, it'll be on the screen, but there's going to be a little opportunity for you to do some exploring. So I want to make sure you have it open and in front of you. So we'll begin with the affirmation. We envision positioning ourselves geographically in a way in which we can fellowship with one another without the interruption of any secular system alien to our own. We envision performing great works on the planet. We envision maintaining fine homes on the best parts of planet Earth. We envision ourselves in positions of power and influence while fully rooted in our own cultural base. We foresee raising healthy, happy children who have a mating pool to choose from among their own kind, ilk, and pedigree. We visualize residing in an environment where we can sustain full cultural sovereignty. We see establishing a safe haven for those engaged in the sacred work of the Anu. We envision empowering people to live in a victorious manner. We foresee retrieving the lost ones who have been misdirected from their connection to the kingdom of the Most High Yah. We envision cultivating a loving environment that is supporting and nurturing in every way. We envision always offering relevant worship and educational experiences to keep people in step with the dynamic movement of Yah. We envision continuously providing services that meet needs and systematically foster growth in all members. We envision being a benefit to whatever community we find ourselves neighboring. Yes. So that is, if you don't know, that is an excerpt from the Anu Way vision. There are 13 bullets that denote the vision as it was given to Chief Yuya. And you may be wondering, like, oh, the title for today is "It is Finished." Why did she start with the vision? So we're going to get into that. We're actually going to take a journey, which is why, Red Road seemed like the perfect opening song, because often that journey between the vision and getting to that "it is finished" is that space. That's usually life or death of you even getting to completion, what you do in between that space, right? It's kind of like the dash when you think of, somebody existed in their on this physical plane from this date to this date. It's like everything is within the dash. So we're going to talk about that. Before we do, I'm just going to go through the chat. Peace and greetings, and give thanks to Anu Radio, Okoti Yamina, Ima Top Tier Speaker, Ima Sequoia, Sovereign Eats, Okoti Maria. Whenever I won't even say it. Whenever I see the names, I have to like do a switch, and I'm on to the next one in my head. Abaras Kush, Okoti Yafe, Akizad, peace, Imanaya, peace, Master Menelik, peace and thank you. And Safta Ahava, peace and give thanks. And you know what? I know we do this anyway, but please feel free to like actually pick a person, maybe through Facebook, because I know it's easier to share through Facebook, and just like at some people so we can get some movement and some fluidity into the space a little bit. So while I chit chat away, take a moment to just share the link, and let's try to pull in some additional people. And then in Clubhouse, peace, Aki Darian, and Akoti Yamina as well. I will say, disclaimer, I know Sister Yafe shared last strong. Clubhouse looks very, very different. Very, very different. So bear with me if I don't necessarily see everything. It looks like if someone raises their hand to join the podium, it looks like it might be the same. Yeah, okay. And I don't see anything in the chat, but that looks like it's the same. So, how do I get out of the chat? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm not going to play around over there. I don't want to kick y'all out. And peace, is it Michael Como? Greetings, greetings. Thank you for being here. All right. So the first thing I want to share is what my reason for the title is, or was, or how it evolved. So I wanna give my personal disclosure. All strong, I knew we were gearing up. Well, we weren't gearing up, but all strong, we knew at the end of the strong, actually, was it Yom Ravi? Was the end of Ramadan. We entered Eid. And so there was this recognition that we will be closing out this fast time, right? This time of connecting more greatly with the Creator, with also charity, with accountability, with even meeting and reaching goals. This year, it also happened to coincide with the new year, right? We know that the new year is truly in the spring, right? That when everything is blooming and coming alive, that is when the year is, rolling into newness. And so even that idea of having Ramadan goals, and I'll say at least within my house in Anu, we were given goals. These are your goals for the cycle of Ramadan, which is 30 days. So within 30 days, I had 5 goals that I needed to accomplish. And admittedly, one was a health goal that could have thwarted me getting through some of the other goals. But this was the charge. And so the thing about being the thing about being obedient or coming under a vision, particularly as a woman, is recognizing and walking in submission to headship. Period. There's no other way to say it. Like, I was like, how do I say it? You say it by saying it. It's about walking in submission. So I'm given the vision from the head, right? So my head, my covering gives the vision. Just like within our head, our spirit, our cover is Chief Yuya. He laid out the vision as I shared with you all at the opening. That is setting the tone for how we should move. And there you go. Greetings, peace, Lugal. Thank you for being in the space. That is what sets the tone for how we Anu should move and walk. And the ultimate, like the way we were studying and preparing together, myself and some of the sisters. And one of the ways that I described it is, it's like when you're holding that vision, it's like that light bulb, and that light bulb is always on, so that you're constantly aware of what the ultimate goal is, as you're taking each step, and you're maybe going through those more not so fun even moments, or maybe you don't see them as fun, which we'll even talk about, the doing things, and what sort of mindset we should move into doing things. But when you have that ultimate vision, and you're coming under it, right? That light bulb, or that head, the head is over the body. So the body is submitted to the head. Then you can receive and move on the vision. So the theme came from that idea of me having some accomplishments, like, one, get these things done, right? Get to the finish line. But ultimately, by the end of Ramadan, kind of like a literal surrender to, it's finished. Like, a book is finished, the four out of I got out of the 5 goals finished. So not completely there, right? But just being able to acknowledge that was one of the reasons for the title, as well as a communal recognition, of, you know, our who well a communal recognition of observance of Ramadan, which of course we join people all over the globe, who practiced Islam, who also observed Ramadan, and so that was coming to a finish. Um, and I know that, well, I wanted to be considerate of those who may not, be clear about Anu, and may wonder, well, why were y'all fasting for 30 days? Even though it has been touched on in the past, I did want to share just one particular reference from the Anu Way, and it's from the Anu Way Declaration of Truth. And it says, Islam provides us with excellent models to achieve peace and submission, right? And so I wanted to share that, to recognize that within the Declaration of Truths, there is a list. And that list, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but that list actually speaks to different spiritual systems, and ideologies that we Anu draw from, recognizing that they house truths that we align ourselves with. And for Islam, it is about achieving peace and coming up under that mission. And so that's exactly some of what we're going to get into. So like I said, that it is finished. It truly, oh, I'm sorry, there's stuff happening in the chat. Oh, just more greetings. Okay. It's so nice. It's so nice when everybody's greeting everyone, right? It's the best we can do when we're not in physical proximity to one another all the time. So we can't necessarily get to a predetermined, I'll say, you'll get to a finish line, whether you have a vision or not. But you can't necessarily get to a predetermined vision, or even you can't function and be obedient to striving towards a predetermined destination or vision without coming under it and taking the steps. You definitely don't get to the finish line if you're not submitted, or even, as Shiva said, being a slave to your purpose. So recognizing even then that the vision or component of the vision is your purpose. So my purpose at this given moment is to be here, right? To be a reflection of an Anu woman, and to build and share on this topic. That's it, right? Not worry about how seamlessly, or I can't even say perfect because I'm so imperfect. It's actually hilarious that that's an illusion or delusion. But that the reality is that I actually have all that I need. And I'm gonna do something a little differently, and it probably won't impact most of you. But I want to go to 2 Corinthians 8 and 12. I feel like Akizak, like I'm about to do a whole lesson right now. But 2 Corinthians 8 and 12 says, For if there be first a willing mind, it is accepted according to that a man hath, and not according to that he hath not. And we're gonna dig into two words, of course, vision and willing. But in that 2 Corinthians scripture, I pulled on it because I was acknowledging earlier, or just a moment ago, that we shouldn't, I shouldn't, and I touched on it also in our affirmation, that we shouldn't be concerned about what we can't do, right? How ill-equipped we are. And I know Akizak and Chief has spoken on this a lot as well. I knew Chief has literally said, I don't give them, any of us, we're not assigned, I'm not assigned to be here right now because I am this phenomenal orator. And I think I flow words all the time, y'all hear me. That's not the reason. It's to pull something out. I don't know what it is. that's not the point. The point is that I'm to come under the vision, right? And I think, and willfully, y'all are all kind of chuckling. Those that are new who are like, yeah, we actually don't really. Sometimes we're given a piece just as much as we can swallow at the time of what the vision is, and the expectation, particularly for us as women, is that we don't need to know. We know what we need to know, and we move accordingly. And so, what this particular scripture just reminds me of is that idea that don't worry about what I don't have, and allow that to impede my ability to get things done. The first thing I have to have is that willingness, right? That willingness um, is is where I begin. I almost feel like I'm going to wind up jumping around, but I don't want to do that because, there are slides and stuff. So I want to, let's see. Let's see what Aki Zach has here. Right, exactly, Aki Zach. So being in the moment. Yes, yes. Being in the moment and growing. That is truly what you all who have been watching us, who may, still not even jump in the chat and greet us, or who watch, the replays. What you're witnessing is us being in the moment, being, receiving edification and correction and instruction in the moment. I want to say it was last strong, one of Ima Akuya, one of our sisters, joined one of the builds and literally said out loud, "Oh, we're sparring," because within Anu, particularly, within Anu period, but in the womb space, we broach the subject of how we should prepare, right? How we study, and the topic of it being like a sparring session, how fighters may prepare for a fight. Like there's a firm and strong exchange to make sure that we're equipped, and that we're ready. And even when we're not, the beauty is, number one, Yah is at the head, right? And as a woman, my head is at the head. So then I know that I'm good because I'm covered, right? And the brothers would speak from, I would imagine, I can't speak for them, but I would imagine, knowing that Yah is at the head and that they have a chief Jegna and that they have the Anu way as this blueprint and this guide and we're still in the Anu way foundation at the end of the day. Those bricks are being laid for us to walk, not worried about what we possess, but rather really just walking in an obedience. And so that particular scripture, it actually made me think of, it made me think of a piece in conduct in the Anu way. Actually, this one is Cape. Yeah, I can use that one. Go ahead. Go on with it. I don't go with the flow. We y'all, what is it? Take a ride? Mm-hmm. We just go for a ride. Because you know what? I'm going to say what it is. And you can leave the slide up. There's so much preparation. There's so much love and appreciation and desire to give and share that I can't tell you the team. Like, actually, it makes me kind of tearful to the work that gets put into preparing for these sessions and the amount of love. And so right now there's a sister in the background with probably about 15, 16 slides as I organically yield to how this conversation is most appropriately going to flow right now. And so in conduct, we have the Anu matriarch is industrious and performs her work with hands that are willing while she sings the praises of her master and Yah. The Anu woman does not toil begrudgingly, but completes her work with great delight and eagerness. That is the beginning of being that is the epitome of being capable, right? And being that willing vessel, getting back to that, the will. So if you're given 5 goals for Ramadan, is the response, oh man, I have my own stuff that I wanted to do. Fasting is gonna be hard enough as I can't even eat any food, right? Or is it like, this is a fantastic opportunity to accomplish, right? To take that next step, to be a reflection of headship, to manifest, or to actually watch how something is revealed by my doing, by my ability to actually move and carry that baton. Even there was a side conversation about, some information being passed off, and how smoothly, that the baton gets passed, and carefully and with intention, instruction is passed from one member of Anu to another, from a more senior member to a junior member. And it's the receptivity, right? It's that willing heart that ensures that it becomes something that we take in and then the body acts on. It makes me think of something that was shared actually by Sister Yafe yesterday, when I was going through my notes and what I had, and she said, it's important, we were taught that the Anu man is that what, right? He is the what. So that what is, what are you going to do? Or if you think about it, the what is the vision. This is the vision. Get these things done. So this is where we need to be. And the woman is that tactician, right? And yes, I'm saying Okoti Yafe mentioned it, but I know it was Chief that like she was reading, sharing some insights and notes that Chief has shared with us at some point. So I definitely want to give all the, put the quotes, just put everywhere on the screen, like Chief said. So so that the womb is that tactician. Like, she comes up with the tactics. Even if we think about in economy, it talks about the woman, or maybe it's leadership. I think it's leadership, where in the Anu way, where it talks about the woman being the manager, not only of the house, but particularly, she may be entrusted and responsible for managing business, and that we function and serve better in that role, or best in that role. And that's important for us to know. So we come up with how do I get these things done? And that's why we shouldn't receive it begrudgingly. We should receive it with gladness, like, how am I going to get this stuff done? I literally have 30 days. I know this is the vision. How are we getting to that finish line? How do we get to celebrate Eid and know that it is finished? I'll recognize and own that even I had the thought of, doesn't it is finished? Isn't that going to give like the Easter connotation of the cross but that's not it. It is a celebratory, it is finished. The vision, where we're walking and moving in that vision. And even that idea of finishing what we start. So I wanted to share I want to try to get back in order of my slides. That's what I want to do. But before I do that, let me see. Oh, okay. Yes, I'm going to get to, I see you. All right. So, so Aki Zach says, let's do this. Fear keeps us from starting and getting on the path. Just rock out. Listen, can I tell y'all? Okay. I'm not as like good with the self-disclosure. I know like Sister Yape calls it the story times, and she gets really excited about her story times. And I used to kind of ride her coattail when we did Shema, because I just want to give y'all, you know, but I'm gonna share my story time connected with fear keeping us from. Oh, okay. Peace, Ema Sequoia. I saw you in Clubhouse. You dropped out. Um, so that fear keeping us from starting and getting on the path. I was able to finish an assignment. Um, but let me tell you, I was given that assignment in November of 20, like I can't even smile saying it. November of 2021. November of 2021, I was given instruction to complete, to write a book. And I thought, oh, great, I get to go to school so I can learn about this topic so that I can then feel and think, not at all just taking it and saying, okay, you're being told to do this. So whatever you produce is going to be evidence of you, how equipped you were to get it done. It was only after, as Akizak is saying here, it was only after not only starting it, but getting it finished, getting to the it is finished, that pieces of how it connected to everything else that I was assigned to do or had recently completed, how it was all related. And so I just said, this idea of, we talk about fear, and even in the book I talk about fear. And oh, I guess I should share, and the name of the book is watch me mess up the name of my own book, right? It's a scriptural guide to overcoming 7 mental ailments. But in it, like, I talk about fear and ways of overcoming fear, and not, getting stuck in those cycles of what you have from what you don't have, or even, going back to that 2 Corinthians 8 and 12. Like, really, it is first about having that will, that gladness, or that openness. Yeah, that just getting that ball. I said I wasn't going to do any sport analogy, but it's like getting the ball and just running with it, right? And then Akizak says delight and eagerness. Yes. So speak on it now. Okay, thank you. Right. We have to, particularly as the woman, because I literally just said we are the ones that has to figure out how to get it done. If your first response is, I don't have no time, I can't, I'm unable, I'm ill-equipped, you're coming up with more excuses than you are with, excuses for not getting it done. But then the funny thing about that is, if you're given less, if you're not given any responsibilities, if you're not, I know, at least I'll speak for myself. Maybe some don't, maybe some just don't want to do nothing. But if my lack of enthusiasm or lack of commitment in carrying that ball forward, or moving on that vision, which I falter in a lot of the time, if that results in me not receiving particular assignments or tasks or instruction, that's actually a shame. Like, that's a disgrace. That's what it is. That means that my head is attached to a failing body, right? And if we think of just what happens when our kidney fails, or if our liver fails, or if we are experiencing heart failure, you usually have to let go of a lot of the tasks that you were otherwise doing. Even our bodies don't function the same way. Our body's ability to function shifts and changes because it has to adapt to the fact that a system is failing. So that isn't even a part of like what my notes were, but I think it's really important to highlight that for any female who, strives to be recognized as a woman, being able to be receptive, and as Akisak says, yeah, be, delight and be eager to be of service and to execute and get from that vision to that it is finished. That should be really your heart's desire. Akizak said it makes me think of Snow White. Whistle while you work. Yes, 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 absolutely. I don't know what was smooth as a baby's bottom. Oh, the way he passed you that baton. Okay, yeah. I'm not as slow as I look sometimes. Yay. That one I got. Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I think that's what you're referring to there. And Honor Radio says, yes, that direction. Exactly. This is the direction we're heading in. And imagine standing at a crossroads and you told this is where we're going, and you kind of just stand there like, really? But I don't even have on the right sneakers today. Oh, it's kind of hot. Are we going now or are we going later? And I know I might, like, my examples seem very basic and simple, but think about and own earnestly, sisters, how many times that the stupidest excuses and narratives begin to flood your mind before you get to, I'm being entrusted with something, or I'm being gifted with something for my own growth and development that's going to ultimately, benefit the community and family. Like, but I'm responsible for this piece of it. And if we're striving and moving and growing together, then I can't be the piece that's holding it back or holding it up. Or my mental cycles shouldn't do that. Okay. So Chief Yuya says, take those goals with a smile and recognize, yep, that a man giving you goals cost him thought and time. Yeah, taken away from his own. I should make this bigger. Taken away from his own portion. Yeah, all to nurture you. Pouty faces eventually lose their nurturing sun. There you go. He said what he said. Absolutely. Absolutely. Better not smile saying it. Oh. No, I could. No, that was shameful. And yeah, no, there's nothing to smile about. I am smiling that I got it done. Oh, look, that's the link too. Good, thanks. Okay, so that's the book, y'all. Go. I hope you enjoy it. My first book baby I done nurtured. I just stayed it for way too long. It was up in there way too long, but it's out now. Excuses sound best to those who made them too. Who said that? You didn't put no respect on the name of the author of that one, but I'm just gonna read it and you do the attribution if you see fit, Akizak. Um, Oh, and so okay, so and correct me if I'm getting what you're connecting to here incorrect. Like let me know. Give me some light. Thank you. But it looks like you're referring to with head is in the toilet. When you're not receptive or coming under headship, it's like your head is swimming in a pool of whatever. It's pretty much poo poo, right? It's just garbage, as opposed to, yeah, offering gladness and appreciation for, like you said, the time, um, and the thought that was put in, right? And even that thought, like the intentionality behind what you mean. I'm gonna say, I'll just speak for myself. The time and intentionality put into painstakingly take the food, right? Take the manna. That is all of the steps that maybe I need to go through and recognize that, okay, she can't even chew this right now. So let me break it up. Let me prepare it in a way that she can receive. and place it down, and know how to time it to place every little crumb along the path. Women, I'm gonna say that at least that's I'm grateful for that. And the best way for me to show that gratitude is actually to learn from my mistake, and to move, literally carry football. I don't know if that's how, if I tuck it under my pits like that, but carry the vision through and move through, because ultimately the path is clear. The path is clear as we do that. Let's see, I want to get through the chat and then get head in the toilet. Chief says, yep. When the light is pulled away and you're now in more shady space, you become envious of the hardworking women who are getting light and motivation. And I would even imagine, don't see how you actually, this was at your hand. This was at you. This was your doing. This was, this was just no ownership. That's the best way I could say it. Lack of ownership. Oh, okay. And being flushed. Okay. Give thanks for that. Chief says, in plural relationships, the lifeless body falls from the collective, and the head continues to guide the working parts, and lets the rebels prepare their own burial. All right. I'm gonna read that again. In plural relationships, the lifeless body falls from the collective, and the head continues to guide the working parts, and lets the rebels prepare their own burial. So you want to be that rogue arm, those, this actually applies. So here's a story time from last night. I don't know how we got onto the subject, but we were talking about, I was sharing some of my mental health experience as it pertains to a particular, it's a diagnosis, but it's actually a side effect. So it's an adverse drug reaction, and it's called tardive dyskinesia. And I was explaining to the sisters what tardive dyskinesia is. I'm not going to show y'all on camera like what I showed them, but it's a person who yep, you house you, yeah, it's got to get. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna keep on telling my story time. But yes, we do got to good. So tardive dyskinesia, based on when you take certain psychopharm medication, one of the side effects is that you may experience, the patient may experience tics, like where they'll like pop, like they'll do that, or they'll make little popping sounds, or blinking their eyes really fast, or have facial twitches. And I'm actually going to say that those rebel body parts, like that's actually not, that's an adverse drug reaction, right? Like that's not how your body is supposed to function. Like even if you think about Tourette's is a diagnosis because it's not what should normally happen. So when we want to be those rogue or errant limbs, yeah, they're the head, from what I'm reading, just continues to head along the path of the vision. That's it. Because ultimately, the only way to get from that vision to the it is finished is by being obedient to that light. Yeah, period. Now, where am I here? Oh, Akizai, he doesn't know. Okay, that's fine. It was in the Matrix, so okay. That was a good one. I was a little slow on what that meant. Because I thought, oh, really? Is it? Was the first time that was ever said in the Matrix? That's an ode to, of course, to Aki Zak, who quotes the Matrix. It's one of his primary tenets, after all of the Anu content and biblical precepts. Okay, yeah. So Chief Yes says, "Yep, you house of Yuya Etz." Got good. Yuya Etz. That's the first time I ever heard that one. Give thanks. The Yuya Etz. That sounds like a musical group. I won't be singing in it though. Or unless I'm instructed to, and then I will be singing my heart out. Y'all just may not like it. Yeah. um, if something is not growing, then then it's dead. Author unknown. Thank you, thank you. You know, sometimes I'll say sometimes being on these lives and not having like voices. Oh, Chief. Uh-oh. Did I miss it? Did I miss something? I saw something highlighted that says Chief has said. Um, so apparently, yes. Oh, yes, every quote gets attributed to Chief. So thank you. That's gonna be in there. If we don't know it's unknown source, Chief you yes said it. That's right. You heard it here first. But what I wanted to share, just in gratitude, oftentimes I know for myself, like, you come on these segments and you prepare so much, and you really it's challenging, like exchanging with literally myself. Like, I'm looking at the chat, but I'm looking at my notes, and I'm like imagining you all. But um having the chat be very engaging does help. So thank you for that. Let's see, where am I here? Author unknown, huh? Unknown, huh? It was Chief. That's the point. Hence the comment that was already typed up down below. Yes, Chief, yeah. It's understood, right? He heard it in the Matrix. What time? Oh my gosh, it is 12:48. I'm supposed to be on here for an hour, and the Matrix of the Foundational Friday episode. There you go. They're having a whole conversation, and I guess I'm sharing for those in Clubhouse. Actually, Aki Darren, maybe you need to just come on over into the into the chat, so you can see all of this going down live for yourself. But I'll read it. So pretty much, apparently, Chief Yuya said that statement originally in a Foundational Friday. Okay. All right. He said, "Come on now, brother. Think about it. Think about it, brother." This is making my stomach hurt. Y'all are funny. Okay. Akizak is a smoker who will steal your lighter and let you borrow it the next day. And then want it back. Like, make sure you give me that back, right? Is that how that goes? I witnessed that happen. I was never known for carrying lighters, but I have witnessed like the call out. Like, isn't it mine to begin with? It's like, yeah, but now it's mine, and I lent it to you, and I want it back. That's an interesting type of personality. I don't know. I'll leave that up to the brothers to deliberate. I will not opine. That is not my place. I don't doubt it. 99% of the things I say come from one of them shows. So there you go. So that should just be your disclosure, Aki Zach. And then share whatever you share. Okay, all right, this whole chat that's y'all conversation. All right, so let's just get back into it. I think I'm just gonna do a part 2 for this vision piece for this entire thing, because I do want to get to the charge to, particularly, it's the charge to any female, any woman, but definitely to the women in Anu. I opened by reading the affirmation was me reading the 13 bullets from the vision statement. This charge is coming because as I went through, and of course I read the vision statement. We actually yeah, Akotsi Yafe and I did a Shema, going through the vision statement. But going through it right now, right? We know when we read things, like, these words are so alive and enlivened and relevant in every moment, that it takes on a different sort of life based on where we are. And as I looked at them, I said, you know what? This is ultimately what's guiding every single, and maybe it's a dumb moment, right? Like, yeah, you don't know that? This is guiding every single activity, us being here right now. This is ultimately the blueprint that each member, each woman in Anu, each man in Anu, this is what we are working towards. So if this is what we're working towards for the women in Anu, and if you would like to share, please feel free to put it in the chat or join. I don't know if the link is there. Y'all do what y'all do, but consider the tasks. Consider the vision that your head has given to you. We all have a covering within Anu. Every woman is covered. What vision, what instruction has been given to you? Consider the level of ownership and desire and movement towards getting it done, getting to that finish line. What did you commit to it? And how do you see it connected to each of or one of these bullets? Because this is the vessel, right? If these 13 bullets that I shared at the opening, and perhaps what we can do is find a way to share it, maybe in the description, just so that it's there for those who watch this later, because I really think it's important for this episode, for those 13 bullets to be shared, to give an example of how we can tether ourselves to holding a vision, recognizing that, okay, this task that I'm being given, this one thing that I'm being given to do, it's connected to something much greater. It's connected to something that is actually going to edify family, community, the surrounding, the people in the surrounding area that are not Anu, but ultimately it's about us moving and walking in the vision of the Anu. So I don't know if there's any responses. Not the possession. I'm gonna skip that one altogether. I don't know what kind of problems you're trying to start, but I'm not gonna mess that one up. Sister. Okay, so let's see. So I'm gonna go back to the chat. Oh, okay, Aki Darren is trying to hold it down in Clubhouse. Yeah, actually, he left. I just looked down. Okay, yeah, yeah. We may need to, make a little dip on. Okay, he's present. There he is, present. He's like, I'm here. I'm in the space. I'm up in the place. So Zach says, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. Marilyn Monroe. What is happening? Let's stay. Well, anyway, you do what you do. Okay. Brother D never comes over to YouTube. Oh, okay. He must have blocked one of his cat memes or something. He's in protest. I guess he must share cat memes in the men's chat. I've never seen cat memes. Did I read that right? What is going on over there? That's actually kind of funny. Pardon. I'm sorry. I don't know. That's an inside joke. I know nothing about it. I'm skipping. I'm skipping that. Uh-uh. Zach said, come on. Oh, they working together. I'm gonna take that off the screen. You see what that says down there? House of Yuya. I'm not getting in no more trouble than I earn for myself. Okay. I want to just touch on. I want to honor the time, but also just make sure that I touch on what ultimately I will that you did receive from this. And I do look forward to seeing some of the sisters, particularly the sisters who assisted in me studying and prepping for today. What piece or what task were you given that maybe you did carry it forward and you can see how it's connected to the larger vision of us and Anu? Or maybe you have to earnestly own that, you know what? No, I didn't move. I didn't even see how I was fit or appropriate to do the task. And so I dragged my feet. Or maybe you experienced what was shared, as it pertains to the consequence of what happens, right? So you're not given other tasks, or there may be some things that you prefer to do or are more passionate about, and those things were no longer entrusted in your care because you were not that you weren't a steward over it. So I do want to hold that level of accountability, with the expectation, of course, that we're that everybody's here. I want to share the another piece of the vision statement from, of course, from the Anu Way. It says, when we are given a glimpse of the great, look at that, when we are given a glimpse of the great vision of the Most High and we rebuff it, which is, this is what we're talking about. When we are given a glimpse of the great vision of the Most High and we rebuff it, we will be rejected from the kingdom that holds the resurrected edict of the Creator. Our fellowship with one another should further advance us into the jurisdiction of the celestial kingdom. We rejoice in the shared vision that we commit ourselves to wholeheartedly. We rejoice in, in the shared vision that we commit ourselves to wholeheartedly. And for us, I knew that shared vision that we rejoice in committing ourselves to are those 13 bullets that I shared, as well as everything that precedes it in that vision statement. Please take the time. I promise you, there's going to be at least one more part to this, because I have so many more ideas for us to dig into, and precepts to share. But for this part one, to the sisters, and ultimately, I would imagine that it would prove, maybe the baton will be passed to the brothers to somehow do it the same way. But I'll say, to the sisters, you should have a list of the tasks, the instructions, the direction that has been given to you. Begin to line them up. Begin to line them up and to see, and also begin to be accountable to your head, more importantly, to which you have not put here in the chat, but to your head, as to how you have faltered. Because it is through our honest ownership that we can even begin to redeem ourselves. We can't begin to be forgiven for what we haven't even, and maybe I'll be corrected, but I would think that maybe I can be forgiven, like, this fool don't even know. Maybe there's that. But we should seek forgiveness by being earnest, because we're seeing anyway, and we're actually experiencing the consequence of failing to move and be activated and not move begrudgingly, right? Um, I'll just close out by referencing the idea of, the difference between like the vision and that middle space, how we get from the vision to the finish line. And it's from the Command the Day, right? It's from the Command the Day that's entitled Walk in Vision. And here in that particular piece, Chief is speaking about, people oftentimes confusing the concept of a vision with an idea. And so because it's an idea, you may not be as excited about doing it, right? Because it may seem like it's an ice, like I guess I'm just imagining what that would look like. So it's like if you don't, let me see what's in the chat. Oh, okay, there you go. Walk with vision. Oh, look at, you got it twice. People are moving. There's lots of work happening. Do y'all see that? So you have it on Facebook and on YouTube. So that's the link. So the idea usually connects to that to an angle, but you may not necessarily be like enthusiastic or excited about it, because you're not able to see the bigger vision. And even though I'm like paraphrasing this particular command a day, this has been something that has been said to me time after time. And it's while I'm saying it that I'm like, yeah, Chief has told me this like several times. I thought I needed to be excited about like, yeah, that part, but the fun part is like making the let me tell y'all, the book took forever, but that cover, baby, I had that cover done. That cover was done, waiting and baked up, ready to go. Because that was like the fun part, right? But I have to honestly say that in writing, I experienced how the excitement, because as I did it in the doing, it was like the synapses were firing. Like, oh my gosh, I see how this is all connected. And I'll give one last kind of, are you like a little touched moment that I had just today, where Koti Yafe got to give me that, what is wrong with you, look, where I said, we have these, streams of income. You should have these different, and I know most know 7, but I believe and I knew we were told 10, and I hope I'm not getting that number wrong because it was literally just said. One of them is definitely royalties. How about, it wasn't until I went into the software to upload the book and it went to the tab that said royalties, I was like, oh, this is one of the reasons why this is important, because this is a means by which to have a residual, like passive income. Oh, snap. It was an embarrassing moment for me, because it was like, we discussed this. You were told this many times. But I would also say it goes to show how when we are not, and again, I'm going to bring it back to to that 2 Corinthians 8:12. If we're not focused on, oh, look at that. Thank you. This is different. Oh, 12 is the bottom. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me not look at the screen. Y'all look at 12 on the screen. You have 10 through 12. I'm just going to read 12. But if there be first a willing mind. So first, you're willing. So you have to be that receptive vessel, right? Open and walking in gladness. It is accepted according to that a man hath, and not according to that he hath not. So if I'm doing everything with a willing heart, it's acceptable. What's not acceptable is for me to say, well, I ain't got it, so I just didn't do it. I didn't know how. You told me this, but I didn't know how to get it done. Go Google it. Go take a free Udemy class. Go figure it out. Go be sisterly and friendly and go ask for assistance. The resources are there. And sometimes, sisters, that means you don't have to go to your head to say, hey, can you help me? I literally gave you these instructions for you to go get something done so that I can go get something 85 million steps ahead of you done. So, and I'm sure there's a way that this applies to the brothers. And I'll leave it up to the brothers to deliberate on that part. But that's a part of us being capable, right? So I'm gonna close. Actually, I'm gonna close by going through the chat one more time for the one time. Let's see. Division. Okay. So Akizak says division should scare you and make you question if you can get it done. Okay, just keep swimming. Yes, I know. I loved finding Nemo. Yes, that was Dory's thing. And honestly, that's often in my head when it's funny. We were even talking about the blinders, horses having blinders on. And that's how we should move. Like we should move with that. Just keep focused on what the next thing on this list is. What am I supposed to get done? How can I activate every part of my being, everything that has been poured into me to get it done? And if that's what you're doing, then trust that you'll get to that it is finished. Even if the it is finished is good. Now let's go make some revision, because nothing is ever perfect. It's truly in the doing that we are there is that perfecting, right? It's kind of, yeah. I ain't going no further. I think y'all get the point. So you have the link there. Why can't I click on Sister Yafa's thing? I don't know. It won't let me select it. Oh, there. Okay, there we go. Chief always says, we love to start. Yes, we do. It's like I want to start with the logo and the website and what colors and what fonts, and then there's no substance. There is no substance. So you have just an empty vessel, which is not capable of much, right? So another example of not being capable. Oh, was it 8? Try 9. Okay, so I don't feel so bad, y'all. I know that throughout life, I've always known 7 streams, but I know coming into Anu, Chief has given 8, 9, or 10. Well, 8 or 9 according to the brothers. With that, yeah, we all gonna be in trouble, y'all. Come on now, we got to get it together. Hold that vision. So I am gonna take notes, and maybe we'll carry it to the internal womb build. But I do want to hear, sisters, how you use or connect what you've been instructed and entrusted with to move within the vision of the Anu way, like how you see that connection with vision. With that, I am going to begin to close out. I think that we have a beautiful promotional video, so we will cut to that in. What? Oh, what is that? That was not. was not prepared for that one. That's the book, y'all. But I don't think that's what we were cutting to. I think we were cutting to a promotional video. Give thanks. For the retreat. So
Don't lie, don't lie, don't lie. Skybo, you know we're royalty, right? You know this.
That's true, Chief
Rain
Yuta.
will fall, sun will shine, night will rise. Never say no to yourself. Time will come, you go make you no rush. Was so break that bar. Today, not today, oh. Today day for someone. So keep on knocking hard. Your time will surely come. Morona day for you, oh. So never give up, oh. You'll be royalty. Never give up, never give up, never give up, never give up, never give up,
We royalty.
never give up, never give up, never give up.
We royalty. Live life.
okay, so that was the beautiful promotional video to remind you all to go ahead, and I know there is a QR code. Maybe that can be put on the screen, maybe not. There is a QR code to, or you can go to www.anulifeglobal.org to register for the summer retreat, which will be in New Orleans. Ultimately, our goal is to get a pretty precise head count. As you all know, or if you don't know, this particular retreat is being open to the community so that you all can come and experience kingdom culture with us. So please, if you're curious about joining us on the retreat, go to the website and look at the frequently asked questions. Go in and actually submit your questions, and someone will respond to you really quickly and make sure you have answers. But we want to make sure we have the most comfortable accommodations. So that's why that head count is so important. There's some more stuff going on in the chat. It was 8. Master Menelik is not in trouble, but some other people, myself, maybe somebody else, we are. Nice accidental plug. I didn't do that. Like, I swear, I didn't do. I know. I was like, I don't want to. What? I didn't do that. But thank you. That was very sweet. I didn't do it, Master Menelik. I think if you would have seen my face was hidden. It was surprise. Aki Zach says, let's go. And yes, thank you. And for so there will be an event in May. We are really, really excited. There's going to be a local event here in North Carolina. So if you are within Anu and you're in the North Carolina area, or you'll be traveling, and you want to, or if you're not in Anu and you want to send donations, that's not the link in the chat. But if you go to Anu Life Global, and just click on, is that correct? And click on the red wrap piece, you can make donations and find all the information. There's lots of information on the website about the red wrap event. So please send donations so that we can make sure that that women who need appropriate hygiene products have access to it. That's what's most important. Yes, and I'm going to close with Akizak's FYI. And if y'all come to the retreat, make sure you cite all your sources. So again, this was another. I always have fun. Thank you. Perfect. There's the link. Let me highlight it. There's the link for the Red Wrap event, and for donations, it's actually an Amazon link, which you can find also on the website, but it's here as well, so that you can send in donations. And if you're interested in volunteering and actually supporting and being present for this or future Red Wrap events, please reach out and send an email. Okay. With that, I'm going to close out. Thank you all for your presence. Thank you for keeping this space lively. Well, ultimately, I want to thank you for you, Anu, for being stewards and being activated and moving in the vision so that we can all get to that finish line together. All right. Peace.